Our next guest has kept the country entertained, certainly kept me entertained through with his comedy persona, Rory Stories, and he's also become an advocate for speaking up about mental health struggles and trying to remain positive throughout the dark times.
Joining us now is comedian Rory O'Connor, but before we chat to him, let's take a look at him in action.
Right, my sleeping bag, just in case I need a nap waiting to get through security. Bring my own pint with me because the queues are ridiculously long and I want to get my photo for social media. My ham and cheese sandwich because you need to take out a mortgage to get your lunch in the airport. And finally, my gum shield and boxing gloves, just in case anyone wants a straightener when I'm not looking. Airport bound, here I come.
Rory Stories. He's kept me thoroughly entertained.
Absolutely, but I know, like you were just saying there, you don't like watching yourself.
Oh, but who does? Like,
that's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, so you wouldn't watch back any of your videos? You must look back at them and like change things.
Once it's gone, it's gone. Is that it?
Yeah, kind of like the odd one, like, you know, you would, like, but in general you put up and there you go, like, in a kind of way, because like I know like people that don't enjoy them will enjoy me saying this, but I don't find a lot of them particularly funny, but I know the audience of what you're kind of curtailing to and kind of...
What are you saying about your audience?
Well,
you're talking to me right now.
You love them. Yeah.
What are you trying to say here? Is it hard because you're so topical? And I suppose through the pandemic, there were so many things you could constantly keep making fun of almost. And we see there, that's you packing to go through the airport queues. I mean, does it get hard to kind of keep coming up with, like, because there's any amount of material out there?
Yeah, like, yeah, I suppose...
Content, the word is content.
Yeah.
Content,
yes.
Yeah.
But it gets annoying. Content becomes relentless, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, that's why, like, it was a field day during the pandemic because everyone was at home, like, the restrictions coming out were questionable, we'll just say, and I was just jumping on them and making like that. So now things are going back to kind of normal. There's not as much going down. I kind of, like, just stick to the topical stuff at the minute because obviously busy away from that. And I'm doing them since 2014, which is like 8 years now of kind of constantly making videos. Obviously the GA, relationships, building sites.
You were kind of the first, weren't you?
Well, yeah, there was a couple, but yeah, back 2014, like, there wasn't really many. Now you have TikTok, which is everyone's ball game at the minute, and I don't even have a TikTok, believe it or not.
Do you not?
No, I
don't either. Does that surprise you?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
But I thought
okay
they
with
mean
that.
exactly like you
I
say
know,
with
and
these videos.
I probably should, Tommy, but I've enough going on, you know, the kind of way, and you have enough with social media and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, so just park it be. Yeah, now I suppose everyone's doing it. It's everyone's kind of niche and stuff like that. But no, I've done enough, so I don't do as many anymore. Like.
But Rory Stories was born out of, I mean, even though it's light-hearted and you do get to poke fun of the crazy life that we're going through at the moment, but it came out of darker circumstances, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought it's very, you know, it's known now that I have struggled with mental health, to continue to do so, the good and bad days. And when I done the memoir, Rory Stories, a couple of years ago, I delved into how Rory Stories began. And yeah, so I'm kind of true to myself with that. Like, you know, it is a big part of what I do is the well-being. It's probably my most passion is kind of shining the light on it because I know what it's like myself and I know what it's like myself to have been at that rock bottom moment, you know.
But when you started doing that, you know, you're a fine, strapping fella, you know, you're fit, all the rest of it, to share your vulnerability. You're used to doing it now maybe and more people have followed you, but to be one of the first to come out and say, you know what, I'm not always great. That takes bravery.
Yeah, it does, and I know, and I can emphasise with anyone in them that it is hard. Like, I remember the moment, like, I sat in my kitchen and I told my own father where my head was at, like, and like most parents, they're surprised, but they were very supportive, and from that day, like, you know, everything improved. Now, as I say to people, I do a lot of talks for schools and companies, like, you can't guarantee every day is going to be great once you accept, but once you accept it, you've opened up.
Yeah.
And you're not just having that battle in your own head anymore. You're able to say, listen, I do struggle, and that's okay to struggle, and because what happens when we keep it in our own mind becomes louder and bigger, and it can become a big issue then. So talking about it is definitely the number one tip. Like,
and to write it down, as you said in your memoir, was a big eye-opener to a lot of people because they see this happy-go-lucky fella on social media, whatever else, and to speak to your dad. The big thing that stuck out for me was on Hell Week last year because, you know, that was a really challenging time you went through. and you opened up big time. And I think I'd say you were probably nervous before you didn't know what they were going to show, but I'd say the response you got to that, to being a guy like yourself, being so vulnerable in front of the TV cameras, must have been
no, I remember the moment, and like all good TV, like it was like I was crying every 10 minutes. Like, and
you weren't.
I know when I come back to my local GA club, the first thing the boys like, Rory, there's Kleenex tissues there for you, and that's all banter, not mine. But it was. I remember a specific interview I was brought in, and because you're so tired, you're so starved, you're exhausted, there's just emotions in there. And yeah, I remember, like, fairness to Jamie, the producer of the show, gave me the heads up that morning, because we don't see any of it. We just see it with you guys, which was terrifying. And he said, listen, tonight is a tough episode, but trust me, it comes across well. And I remember watching my wife, Emma, on the couch, and it was tough. It was tough. But Emma was like, you know, I've seen that in you before. I know that's in you, that person's there as well. But the bottom line is, Tommy, is the response was genuinely overwhelming. Like, it was. It
really hit me, watching it. And so many people I know felt the same.
Yeah, no, it was. And I did feel proud of myself, because I've always been on about mental health from the get-go. Since Rory Stories had 2,000 followers, I've always put up any kind of positive message I can. So someone reading that was in the headspace I was might help them at that moment in time, and I'm aware of that. And yeah, like the messages, the emails, people on the street, it was nuts. Like, it really was. And a lot of like women emailing saying, thanks, my husband spoke to me that evening, like, and I was like, wow, like, you know, and if it takes me being a blubbering mess, like, you know what I mean, on national TV, it is what it is, just for others to kind of see the light and ask for help. Like.
It is very much the see it to believe it type thing. And, you know, we talk about it from women's sport, we talk about it for so many other things, and it is maybe easier to write it down, but actually to see it on our screens, I thought, really. And it has led on to real opportunities. It's the space that you're really trying to get into now as well.
Yeah, no, there's a few projects now coming up. There's one, myself and Philly McMahon are getting involved in TV production now in the autumn, which is something very exciting. That's
Dublin footballer, Philly McMahon,
yeah,
right?
Dublin footballer, yeah, we'd be good friends. So there's a project that's going to be happening now that involves prisoners, basically, like. And we're just trying to delve into the reason why people end up in prison and stuff like that. So
because Philly famously had to make decisions himself in his life that took him down one path or the other.
Yeah, so Philly's part will be kind of like where he grew up in Ballymun and how easy it is to go down a wrong road, and his brother. And mine would be education system. Like, I'm very passionate about education at a young age, how it can have an effect on young people. And yeah, like, it's very early days, but it's something that I'm really excited about, because I want to show how not everyone is a bad egg, you know what I mean? And there is a reason why you end up down this road, and we're going to really delve into that, so it's really exciting. Like.
You're a busy guy, because you've got the tour coming up as well.
Yeah, the autumn tour, yeah. So, that's 16 shows across September and October. So,
wow.
So what can people expect if they go along to your show? What's it going to be dealing with?
Yeah, an evening Rory Stories. So I'm hoping to make you laugh. Hopefully, you know, take something from. We're going to have very interesting guests coming up. I have special guests at each event. I'm going to have an open conversation with them about their journey, about their highs and lows, and hopefully people in the audience will sit down and listen to it. Like, it'll be a very honest, raw conversation, which is what I'm all about. Like, I want it to be real. Like. I think it's.
So if people want to find out more about those dates and where you're going to be, where will they go?
RoryStories.ie. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they're all on there. Like, as I said, every corner in the country. So I'm really excited to get going on the road again and kind of tell a few stories and hopefully help a few people. Like.
I mean, it's as if you don't have enough going on, and you have a book as well. And what I was loving about this book, because it's kind of coming out of lockdown, and your videos are so topical, but even the stories and the comments that you were getting from people and even from yourself is actually like it's going to be a very funny book, I'd say.
Exactly. So Rory Stories Lockdown Look Back, which is my fourth book, which is nuts. Like, I can't even spell, and I have a fourth book coming out there. So yeah, that was inspired by a Facebook post which a lot of the public commented about their experience in lockdown, and it led to the inspiration to write that book. So that'll be coming out now in October as well. It's pretty much finished now. We'll be ready to pre-order in a couple of weeks. So I think it's a good read for people, like, to reminisce on, if that's the word, like, of the madness that went on, of the restrictions and just the insane kind of essentials, non-essentials. And when I was writing it going, I can't believe we actually had to do this kind of stuff. Like, and it's funny, and hopefully it's the right time for people to look back and have a giggle at kind of, which were very tough times for a lot of people, you know.
Absolutely, Rory.
Your wife, Emma, she's a saint putting up with you and all these different projects, and the 3 kids as well. Fair play to her as well.
And you're heading away on holidays today?
Yeah, we're just heading up to Donegal for a few days just to get away. My little one, Lucy, was in hospital there for over a week there, a couple of weeks, so just to go up and chill out and run wild in the hills of Donegal, yeah.
Fantastic. Up to the Glens.
Listen, Rory O'Connor, it's a pleasure to have you with us as well.
Cheers,
thanks so much, and all the best for the projects coming up as well. It's been really interesting. Great to have you. Cheers. Now, up next, we're going to cross over to Derek, who's made some barking mad for... Oh, they're cute, actually, aren't they? St. Bernard pups, brilliant.
Absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to go down and try and steal one. We'll take a quick break. We'll see you shortly.